Yo, GK Nation.
GPS. The Grown Folks Podcast.
Oh my God. Welcome to the podcast.
An extension of the Grown Folks Kids Show. Introducing the host with the most.
The great gun. Keeping it kid.
This is going to be fun. Because I'm Batman. Hey, yo, what is up there, GK
what
Nation?
is going down?
Yeah, what is happening? Welcome back to the Grown Folks Kids Shows.
GPS.
And let us
navigate you through our mind.
Because it is going to be a wonderful place to be. A wonderful place to be. We're going to navigate. Because last night I just got done. A little groggy, so forgive me. I just got done watching. That's what I said. I just got done watching one of the coolest Marvel. You know, I'm getting tired of saying this. Really, Charles, I'm getting tired of saying I just got done watching one of the coolest Marvel movies I've ever saw until the next one, and then to the next one, and to the next one.
It's one of those I told you so.
It's just like DC. What are we doing here?
Do I got full of receipts where you keep saying DC's gonna catch up?
Well, no, I didn't say they're gonna catch up.
You said they gonna catch up.
If y'all don't remember, go back to season 2 or maybe season 1 when I said DC on the TV show and on the podcast. I said DC will make a comeback, which they have. They made a comeback, and they're doing good. They're in the right direction, but still a far way away from the MCU.
The Nile is more than just a river in Africa.
You said, wait a minute. That was a good one. Hey, that was a good one. I like that joke. Hey, all right. Anyways, but hey, for real though.
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
Dude. I mean, like I'm not bashing DC because we both DC heavy fans here.
We are
because DC at the end of the day, they still have the top tier superheroes. The problem is
fall off though.
Well, we'll figure it out. And we talked about that in the last show. I think we talked about that last show. They need to figure out what you know what it is it's a Batman problem. They have a major Batman problem. They got 4 Batmans in 4 different timelines. They got to figure out how. You can't even create a single timeline right now because you just got 4 versions of a Batman. You got the Titans, you got all this, and DC just got to figure that out. But you know what? I don't care about it right now. I'm talking about MCU.
Well, we can do that, but I don't think they have a Batman.
They got a Batman problem.
No, you know why it's not a Batman?
They got to figure which one they want to use.
Marvel don't even use their top tier superhero.
Well, they can't. They use most of them already.
No. They haven't used no X-Men. They only used Spider-Man, and then they brought him after the second to third. They haven't been using their top tier.
Yeah, they make Iron Man, Hulk.
Iron Man was not a top tier.
Come on, man.
Most people didn't know who Iron Man was.
We're getting too technical.
You don't want you trying to go there.
It's top to come
everyone.
On,
you walk anywhere and everybody knew who Batman and
Come
Superman were.
But still,
and Wonder Woman.
Here's the thing. This is what I'm saying.
They use no Wolverine.
Here's what I'm saying. No, X-Men's been used a lot. They just didn't. Disney didn't own them, but Marvel has used their players. That's the difference.
When the MCU came
used it. Right. So we're about to see. Anyways, I just had to throw the DC thing in there because I'm just
I was right.
No. I mean, listen.
And I'm a DC lover.
They make a comeback. Okay, I didn't say they were going to beat the MCU because they're light years. They're a decade behind still.
This is not LL Cool J.
All right, so hey, listen, Shang-Chi. It just points out how brilliant Kevin Feige is.
Brilliant, even word.
I don't know anymore. I don't got a word to describe Kevin anymore. There's no words for him anymore. He took a bold shot Okay, and let's just be real. I know we a couple African Americans on here. Okay, let's keep it real.
We're keeping it real.
Let's keep it real. They don't, African American heroes haven't done too well on the big screen. He took a shot. He brought in one of Stan Lee's favorite African American projects.
Yep.
Wakanda. Knocked it out of the park to the point where it is one of the highest rated comic book movies in history, which opened the door for more cultural can I say that word? Appropriate.
Yeah,
characters.
That's the right word. Not appropriation, but appropriate.
Appropriate, not appropriation. Not whitewashing some characters or what's you say, pacification, because I'm not too highly on taking black, white heroes that are just pure white and replace them with black characters just because for the fact that we're trying to do equity right now. Okay, listen, get the stuff that's already out there and make it relevant. And that's what Kevin does. See, Warner Brothers and DC try to do all that other stuff. That's nothing. We can talk about that later. Okay, we'll talk about
hash
WB.
marking on.
Hash marking now. But Kevin's, no. We'll take what's already out there and make it appropriate.
Word.
My goodness, I just dropped some bombs right there. Appropriate. We're going to talk about, we already did a Wakanda show a long time ago. Now we're going to talk about Shang-Chi. Since you had experience with your Mandarin, you've done language, Cantonese. Yeah. There you go. Sorry, I'm feeling all snuffled.
It's all good.
My nose is plugged, but we'll still do this podcast. Explain, what is your thoughts for Shang-Chi and its appropriate use of the Asian culture?
Yeah, so Shang-Chi, he went way above and beyond to take a character that we weren't using, or not we, I hate saying we, they weren't using or utilizing in the Marvel Universe for a long time. And I'm talking about just comic books. He had his few runs here and there. They tried to bring him back. Shang-Chi was that Bruce Lee integration, but
that's right. He was like the Bruce Lee, supposed to be the copycat of Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah, he was the
response to Enter the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
well, I mean, and it's probably before then, but I remember Shang-Chi. I remember because I have some older Shang-Chi Master of Kung Fu comic books that my father gave me. And it was really, in this day and age, they couldn't have published that book.
Oh, yeah, it'll be considered
highly offensive, highly racial,
biased, cultural, inappropriate.
Shang-Chi's father was Fu Manchu, which is like blackface for the Asian culture. Like right. It's so, and Marvel lost the rights to them long time ago, in like the 50s or 60s or something like that. They lost the rights to Fu Manchu a long time ago. And Kevin Feige even said that he had no thought process of even gathering up
going that direction.
Because Fu Manchu's rights are now what's that thing when anybody can get them?
Public domain.
Yeah, it's a public domain character. But he was like, well, we're not even going to use them. I mean, the Mandarin wasn't even that big part of Shang-Chi's
comic
history.
Actually Iron Man.
Yeah, it was an Iron Man villain. And Doctor Strange.
Right.
So, but
take a look when they made that. I mean, look at the time when
it was back in those days.
Back in those days, they had stereotype comic books were coming out with stereotypical characters according to the culture that I mean, if you deem it to be.
If you read a few Luke Cage comic books back in the day, you would be like, "What is this mess I'm listening to?" Because the way he talked,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's how it was. It was Hollywood box labeling and.
Now this wasn't even Hollywood. This was just comic books. This just is how society viewed certain cultures.
Certain cultures, and so we're gonna just start saying check for Kevin Feige. Check in. Tear down the structure of
cultural
misrepresentation, cultural unappropriation, using highlighting cultures unappropriately. There we go. There it is.
He's ingratiating everyone's culture into the MCU the best way he can. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it's daggone near close to perfect.
Well, as much it's done. I just haven't been done this way in so long in Hollywood.
It's never been done this way.
You don't have major complaints from the Asian community. You didn't have a huge complaints from the Black African American community and the African community, because African American and Africans are two different things, right?
We sure are.
All right. So they're doing it right, and they're doing it carefully too. They're not rushing through things. You see what I'm saying?
And the worst part about this is that he is going above and beyond to make these movies and these characters be culturally unbiased. And there are people out there still trying to make it a racial issue. It's like you can't get away from, you can't just be happy. I mean, we all know haters are gonna be hates, because I'm one of the biggest haters in the world.
Yeah, especially because of AEW, by the way. That's him.
See, here we go.
Throw that in there.
We're not gonna. I'm not.
He's gonna find a way. When I talk about AEW, he's gonna find a way to talk about how awesome SmackDown Roman Reigns is. Watch.
I want all hot tubs cold, but I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying. He is fully engulfed a culture that a lot of people had a love for when we were growing up. We grew up in the culture. We grew up wanting to. And then even when our children, our older children, when they first came in, they grew up into the culture like Pokemon and stuff like that. And then it got twisted because there's the anime concept, and then they started taking the anime concept and kind of perverting it a bit.
That's true.
And he is trying to take the culture and he's trying to make it not mainstream, but he's making it on a level playing field where a white actor and a black actor and an Asian actor and a Native American actor and a Hindu actor and all cultures are on the even playing field.
There's no
Eternals is going to show this.
Oh yeah. Eternals really gonna take it to
the whole culture. Right. The cultural aspect is this is a comic book.
Yeah, no.
So if it's your comic book, right, you're not gonna play a second fiddle.
And so that's a check mark on his culture, right? Okay. And so let's talk about when I like that too, where when you go into this movie, you focus on, okay, what is the Mandarin? I can't say it right now because my nose is plugged.
He wasn't called the Mandarin.
Yeah, there you go. What are you going to be like? Because we've been waiting for him for like for 3 phases, right? And then into the movie, he Kevin Feige said, nope, we're going to eradicate the misrepresentation. He talking about go ahead, you explain that.
No, you was doing good. You was doing good. I'm just saying.
Explain that part.
He came in and as soon as they sat down and had dinner, he said the Western culture was afraid of an orange.
Yeah.
He says
he
named me after a fruit.
Yeah.
And they just used my villainous as a backdrop and then named him the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Which was a fruit. He says, what? And you know what? What's really funny? I'd never thought about that the whole time. And I used to love the Mandarin, as when I read comic books, because he used to whoop up on some Tony Stark in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, they say, well, Western American society has to have a villain and a face placed with it in order to make sense of what they deem as culture, right? And he came in and stripped that box quickly. And so I stopped focusing on him as the manager. By halfway through the movie, I had lost total track of who he was supposed to be at the beginning when coming into this.
Right.
And focus on what the story of who he is as being portrayed to be. I was like, I am down with this dude. Like,
Exactly.
first I was like, okay, he's the villain. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, well, here's another empathetic villain that Kevin Feige put out there so that we could connect to and to understand. And I'm just like, wow, he's not even really a villain. Like he was a villain, and then love came, softened his heart, changed him, became a dad, a loving, caring dad whose heart is broken. I'm like, God, this is brilliant.
And he wasn't
It's not even a comic book. This is like brilliant Hollywood cinematic drama, written out script. I mean, like, this is like Oscar type stuff. This is not comic book.
If you
type
really
of
want to
writing.
get into it, he wasn't even a villain in the beginning. He was a warrior. All warriors in
That's
those
true.
times conquered,
That is true.
and he just lived. There's that old saying that if you live long enough, you'll become the villain in your own story.
That's right.
And he lived over 1,000 years, and he became the
I
villain.
can't wait to see what Eternals have to do with this. I'm like, gosh, another realm within the Earth? How many realms we got in the Earth here?
Well, this isn't even an Earth realm. This was just a different realm.
Where his wife is from.
She wasn't. It wasn't an Earth realm.
It's a
They
different-
broke it down. It was a different realm altogether that they were trying to keep, because remember the nine realms of the Earth.
Right.
The Earth is just Midgard is just a small realm in the 9 realms, but where Shang-Chi's mom is from isn't a part of that mythology.
Where's it at?
It's its own myth. Remember, all cultures have their own mythology of how,
but in
where
the contest is in its own portal in its own realm. That's what they said.
right, its
Right,
own
it's a
realm.
portal in its own realm.
But
you have
there's
to go through
multitudes
just like the one,
of
Doctor
realms.
Strange went to, and just like the one, it's just so many different ones.
Right.
Iron Fist. I'm just like, man,
It's there, man.
wow.
It's
but you
there.
know what? You know what's so cool about Kevin Feige? Even though it's like a trillion different realms.
I mean, this
within
is a
the Earth
Kevin
realm,
Feige love fest, but
He knows how. Here's another check. He knows how to take hardcore comic book material, which will make the average fan tune out because it's just too outrageous. Because comics, your imagination can run as far as it wants to go.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no
most
limits.
definitely.
No limits when you put ink on paper and color to paper. Okay, you can do whatever you like, right? How do you translate that into the movies, but not overwhelm the average movie viewer? And they're like, dude, this is too nerdy, too way out. I can't even follow with this, okay? And he knows how to take those things and make it so simple and uncomplicated that you don't even barely feel the nerdiness that comes behind it, the comic book geekness that comes
Do you
behind
know
it.
why?
Why is that?
I figured it out last
That's a
night
check.
after we talked.
Okay, what did you figure out?
His visual, the visual constructs that he brings to you and the story that he brings to you are 2 different realms. The stories are so well plotted out, so broken down. The characters don't overlap the other. You don't have too much of one and too little of the other. And the visual constructs, because the visual constructs are as nerdy as it can get. You can't tell me when you went to that realm and you saw the Pokemon there. Come on. And anybody who said it.
Come on, man. I was getting to that.
Well, I'm just saying that was so visually nerdy, but the story was,
big time nerdy.
but you
Oh
were
my
you were so drawn in to the story that it complemented each other so perfectly that you didn't say, oh man, he really went there.
Now
You didn't
we're
do
doing
that.
Pokemon
Yeah,
now.
you
No,
didn't
I'm
do
the
that.
Transformer
You just
generation,
got
Voltron
excited.
generation. Right.
You got excited that you were what's the word I'm looking for? You were brought into another world that you thought that you would never be excited to have.
Dude literally got Pokemon elements realm stuff. Because I mean, Pokemon is part of that culture.
It is part of the culture.
Right. So he included that Pokemon-esque stuff in there, mix it in with big. You say, I was like, what is so familiar about this movie? And I said, oh, I get it.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly. Yeah. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. And then you got the Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger elements in it.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Oh
Crouching
my gosh.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Sorry.
Well, his aunt.
Yep. And he managed to put all of this stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't even realize it. Unless you're a hardcore
fan.
Nerd.
And speaking of Big Trouble in Little China, that's, to be honest, that is another movie from back in the 80s that
I think Kevin Feige loved the 80s.
But it's a movie back in the 80s that's not appropriate for this day and time.
No,
but
it's not.
If you want to see the Mandarin, watch Big Trouble in Little China. That's the Mandarin everyone wanted to see. You know, David Lopan.
Yeah.
He was the Mandarin when he got those powers.
So check mark on taking complicated comic book material and dummyified it for an average movie viewer. Because listen,
I don't think he dummied it.
Well, I would say dummified. Retranslate it. He retranslate it into something common that we all can understand and connect to without being thrown off on this extra, I'll compare it to Fast and Furious 9 when we started taking a couple guys from the hood and put them in a car, strap it to a rocket to go to a spaceship,
a Fiero,
and go to when he's jumping cliffs by locking his tire into a hook, going across the cliff. I'm like, okay, Van Diesel, you're making this about you too much. Okay, you lost control. Oh, I need to replace Brian. Let's get John Cena in there. Oh, come on.
No, he placed The Rock with John Cena.
I can't wait to Fast and Furious 10 to see how all this ends, and then that's it. We need to be done. But it doesn't.
Or you got another Hobbs and Shaw movie coming too.
Well, Hobbs and Shaw is going to do. I can dig that. They'll keep that better. And Van Diesel has nothing to do with that.
Right.
He only gets to. He's got control on the Fast and Furious stuff. Right. Rock refuses to work with Van Diesel anymore. So, anyways, it's not over the top. Like, gosh, man, you can't put that comic book stuff in front of the average person, and you'll feel none of it. I'm like, it was entertaining. It was funny. It was, because they know how to do the fun without making it over the top, like Thor Ragnarok. It's like, to me, it's still top 3 Thor Ragnarok because it was.
Who are you telling? That man.
That director, I can never say his name right because right now my nose is stuffed. What's his name? Waititi?
Taika Waititi.
Yes. If you watch Reservation Dogs out there, people, this dude he understands culture. He connects with the culture. What he's doing for Native Americans and putting them to the top, bringing a show to highlight Native American culture and reservation life is brilliant. He better get some Oscars for what he's doing right now. But how he did that he knows how to blend in the perfect amount of story, drama, reality, and comedy, and put it in a perfect blend until you have that perfect smoothie that you're drinking in the morning that has, I hate kale. Well, when you blend it just right with pineapple and the right amount of
you got the great green drink.
Right. You just know how to blend it to a perfect smoothie. You don't taste the kale, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. Kevin Feige knows how to do the perfect blend of a Hollywood story.
Correct.
He knows how to get the right acting.
Uh-huh.
He knows how to take the right amount of comic book nerdism material, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he knows how to put just enough in there so that I'll explain it. And then, and just enough comedy to keep the entertainer not bored. Okay.
Correct.
Right. All right. Because you got to have some type of comedy is used for movies and like this for breakers. So you don't sit there like, for instance, I was watching Captain Marvel. Right. It's kind of dry.
Right. She's a dry character.
She's a dry character, and there was not enough comedy in it to kind of just comic moments to okay, that was funny. because I was starting to doze off a little bit during Captain Marvel, right? He knows how to blend all these together to keep us constantly engaged in the movie and entertained. That's why I said by now he's just flowing.
Oh yeah.
He's just flowing.
And the
any director that comes on board.
I was just about to say that. The craziest thing is he's not using the same directors.
All right, talk about that.
I mean, majority of the Marvel movies have different directors, and all Kevin Feige says is, "Hey, I want you to put A, B, and C, and make sure it connects to X, Y, and Z, and you can make whatever movie you want, as long as you follow the formula." You have a beginning, a middle, and end, but it has to connect. We can't be going rogue out here.
Right. The formula works. Works.
Yeah, it works.
You can direct a Marvel movie, because there's a long line of people, directors who want to get a piece of the action.
Want a piece.
You have to use the formula. If you don't use the formula, you can't get in. Mm-hmm. Right?
And he picks
DC
and chooses.
DC is just like, well, just try to figure this out, you know. And I don't want to go into it. But you use the formula, you get to direct a Disney-led MCU, and you're going to be heavily vetted. You're going to have to sign an agreement.
Chicken pig.
You're going to do this, or you don't get to. All right. So that's a big thing, because it's just like it doesn't make a difference who comes into the MCU to direct the movie. You have to go by this formula.
Correct.
Right. And it's a machine now. It's a train that's moving perfectly right now, right? So that's another thing, how he could just tie in past characters. He can use old material. Now he's at a point where I can just grab stuff we did in phase 1 and 2 and 3,
right,
and bring it back to this phase. See, DC can't even do that. They don't even have that luxury. They can't go back to Man of Steel or go back to Batman versus Superman, because they don't know which universe they want to use right now. They can't just go back to certain places and certain points in timelines. Kevin Feige can literally just go back to his cabinet in the shelf and say, "Oh, hey, you know that seasoning I had up there I used last year with that one dish I made before? I want to try it with this different dish. Let me grab that seasoning and try it on this dish."
And it fits perfectly. He grabs the right Merlot, and I don't even drink, but he grabs the right Merlot, puts it with the right linguine, puts the right red sauce, and he just sprinkles it all. He sprinkles his little seasoning on it, and then you're like, oh, and then tosses a few shrimp on there, and there you go. Well, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. He doesn't know how to go wrong. That would just say that, okay? All right, let's see. What else part of this review? All right, we talk about, let's also talk about, let's talk about Awkwafina.
I'm glad you brought Awkwafina up.
Man, I'm like...
Haters. What? You know what? Hold up. Let me stop.
All right, make it quick. Get it.
Black culture. You gatekeepers. The ones who haven't lived more than 25 years. You're not the gatekeeper of black culture.
They don't understand.
I made sure.
I noticed that young adults, they understand completely. Like we understand completely, 100% black culture and what it all means to be. Now listen, all right, I don't want to go into it, but listen, there's a reason why as you get older, you learn more, and you mature more, and you learn more.
There's not a lot of young wise men out there.
We're godly men of faith, and how God put it out there is He always have elders and people ahead, because you have to learn things as you live through the timeline of your life, right? That will never ever change, because you're 25, you go to college, you do studying, you can take all the courses in the earth that you can take, okay? Doesn't mean you understand 100% what's, who gets to do what for what black culture and what not, right?
Correct.
Right. So, and I like to try to understand culture through how the lens of the creator, personally. Okay, because if we rely to human beings of 5% understanding and 5% knowledge, right, we're ignorant people. There's a whole 5, 10, there's 90% of things we don't understand and don't know. So I say, hey, Lord, show me the lens of how you see culture. what did you design us for? How you create us for what? So I'd rather look at it from that standpoint than from a bunch of human beings that's just going to judge each other based on their own biases and understanding, right?
Correct.
So, speaking of saying that, dropping that bomb on y'all, I don't want to hear about how Awkwafina is appropriating black culture or because she's got a little, like, Asians are supposed to be a certain way. Come on.
Cut it out.
I wouldn't even entertain that conversation with somebody. I wouldn't even entertain that conversation.
They, to be honest, they reminded me of the Asians that hang out in San Francisco. Yeah. I've lived out in San Francisco. Yeah, man, I got some cool.
Listen, we see.
I know some people down there. Yeah,
BC, come on.
Yeah, I know some people.
Asian cultures,
and there was nothing appropriated in how she acts.
Honestly,
this is exactly how they are.
Asians do urban
in San Francisco
just as well as anybody else. Anybody has access to urban
that's exactly how they. That's exactly how they are.
Well, I don't even want to get into that. I want to talk about Awkwafina. We talked about that in our last podcast. Awkwafina, do your thing.
And I'm glad you got another role. I'm glad this role is long lasting, not just one movie.
Yeah.
You are a part of the team.
Awkwafina.
Welcome to the zoo.
Well, she said, I know she's saying in her bed at night, laying down, looking at her ceiling.
I'm in the Avenger.
I'm an Avenger. I made it to the mountaintop. I went from doing comedy about pregnant ladies to being an Avenger, representing my culture. Because remember, she said she don't want to do movies that misrepresent Asian culture.
Exactly.
She said she don't want to do
that.
She
was very adamant about this.
Right. And here she is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am. And knowing that, I'm the leading girlfriend, possibly, of a because that's where it might go, of an Avenger.
Yeah.
Like, come on. You made it, girl.
You've made it. And I support you.
Tell one to shut up. Tell them one to shut up. I don't do the middle finger, but the one next to it is called forget you. Do the forget you finger.
The forget you finger.
Forget you all. I made it. Okay? And so I'm happy for her because she because comedians sometimes, strong comedians with strong personality can sometimes take over scenes.
Oh yeah.
Right? And she didn't do that.
At all.
The two had a perfect working relationship.
Oh man, their chemistry on set.
It was perfect.
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that guy's name again?
Whose name?
The leading the actor who's playing Shang-Chi. I got so caught up with Shang-Chi, I forgot the guy's name.
You forgot the guy's name? Oh, you're talking about Simu Liu.
Uh-huh.
Simu Liu? I believe that's how.
Yeah.
I believe that's how you say his name.
Right. And
I don't want to mess his name up, but I believe that's how you say his name.
Well, I'm not going to try it right now with my stuffed up nose right now. But have perfect chemistry. Perfect chemistry. It brought out their acting abilities. He was his martial arts was not over the top, by the way. Because sometimes these movies can have over the top martial arts, right? Everything was such a perfect. They worked perfectly together. She wasn't overshadowed.
Oh, by no means.
By no means, right?
By no means. She had the kill shot.
Like, come on.
In the movie?
And she said, oh my gosh, I just did it.
Yeah.
And she kept it real.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Awkwafina, because she keeps it real, right? There's a lot of keeping it real in their comedy. I like that, right?
Reminds me of Tom Holland and Zendaya. Their chemistry just is perfect. You would never think that they didn't have some kind of weird relationship.
Well, here's the thing too about that. I was kind of not for Zendaya being Mary Jane, because I'm like, here we go with the with the changing characters for modern times and stuff like that.
Right.
And I didn't know too much about Zendaya, but then as you buy Superman 2, the second one,
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man the second one. Okay, Far From Home. I like, man. She's killing it. destroying it.
Mm-hmm.
She might not look like the comic book version of
Mary Jane.
Of Mary J. And she's technically not Mary J.
She's MJ.
She's MJ, right? So I said, okay, we can get away with that because she's MJ, so she's not exactly the redhead one version. So we can their chemistry is on fire. It's like the
in
Shang-Chi.
real life, and it's like they're best friends regardless.
Right. So that's a check. Chemistry between lead and role, and she's not a damsel in distress. You know, not at one point she was a damsel in distress. They were like co-partners, homies. They were homies. Right. They're homies. Real friends, right? She had a moment and she looked at his chest, she was like, whoa. She was like,
whoa.
Whoa.
Where did that come from?
Right? So they didn't make sure they didn't do it the whole I'm gonna save you.
Well, even with his sister, they didn't make her the damsel in distress either. She was just as hard as he was.
They were like a kick butt Asian superhero team.
And now she's the leader of the 10 Rings.
Well, she's supposed to be dismantling it.
Well, she's the leader of the 10 Rings.
We'll see what happens.
Well, it did say at the very end.
She's supposed to dismantle.
It said the 10 Rings will be back.
Yep.
That's what it said. Yep. So she's not dismantling anything.
She ain't dismantling anything.
She's more of her daddy than she is of her mom.
Well, we'll see.
Or you can tell.
We'll see. Hopefully she doesn't turn bad because I kind of connected with her. But anyways, but they're a cool little Asian. Let's just say a big Asian superhero team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about Shang-Chi. It's about this group.
It's about the group.
With Trevor. All right. Speaking of Trevor.
Trevor.
We're going to end the review on Trevor.
Trevor and Chicken Pig. Or Pig Chicken. Or whatever that little thing was.
Oh, that was for the Pokemon fans.
I want a Chicken Pig.
That was for I think everybody wants a pillow.
Yeah, you get a little pillow.
What's it called again?
I called it a Pig Chicken or a Chicken Pig. Because I heard her say that. I heard Awkwafina say that. What is that, a chicken pig? Or a pig chicken? Because that's what it looked like. It looked like with no face.
Did you ever think that Kevin Feige was going to bring Trevor?
I thought Trevor was going to come back in some way.
You did not.
No, I didn't think he was going to have a role.
Stop it.
But they did a thing. You might not have saw the short. So I figured he would have. I thought they was the mentioning. I figured the cameo, the mentioning of him. Remember when he said
he wouldn't go past the cell.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to have a role. I didn't think he was going to be in the cell. I just thought maybe they was going to show a picture of him getting killed.
Right.
You know, because he said they had somebody and they called him the Mandarin and some actor. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was waiting for the flashback.
Right.
But the flashback never came.
Right. Or even the cell thing was pretty cool, but I didn't think he was going to go beyond that. That was shocking too.
And he had
Kevin
great
Feige gave us a little
timing.
Piece. Oh, because we connected to Trevor at the end. Right? Because we was kind of pissed off that it wasn't a real manager, but at the same time, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
to see. Who are you? I'm Trevor.
Trevor.
Just like I'm Jake from State Farm. Yeah. Right. And he did his accent. Who the hell are you? Oh, I'm Trevor.
I'm Trevor.
It was so that was the good part that he how you say your word, ingratiated us.
Ingratiated us.
That's his word. With Trevor. Because that was totally unexpected.
Very much.
Well, not so much his cameo, but he played a big role.
The role, yeah. Not even a role. The time, how much time he had in that movie, it wasn't wasted. Every time he was on scene.
Yeah, it felt like he was like a glue piece.
Yeah.
And it was so cool is because, you know what? Things just popped to my head. Just like who's the director we talk about? Waititi? But his
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, his character. What's his next character? His rock character.
You're talking about Meek.
Meek and oh my gosh! I just got done watching Thor Ragnarok. I can't. Please look that up, man. It's just I'm getting stuffy. I'm trying to fight off this head cold. Okay. Cork.
Yeah.
And Meek.
Right?
Cork
and Meek.
Right. Trevor and what do you call that thing?
Chicken Pig.
Chicken Pig is on that same has that same element, right?
Or pig chicken,
Pig
whatever
chicken,
it is.
right? They had that same element as Cork and Meat, right? And so they're fan favorites. And Trevor and Chicken Pig became a fan favorite. And I'm like, hey, Kevin, you just know how to talk to us. You know what we want. You know what we like. And him playing such a lead role that way was quite refreshing. It was quite refreshing. It was brilliant, by the way. I felt sad. I was about to get really sad when at the end I thought he died. I was like, oh no. Oh, man.
When you saw Trevor on the ground.
And he said,
and the little chicken pig.
I'm just laying down here acting. And so the chicken pig, they played dead with him. Oh, man. It was beautiful. Oh, it was awesome. And he learned some skills. Okay. All right.
Remember, the chicken pig's name is Morris.
What's his name?
Morris.
Morris. Yeah, Trevor and Morris. Right? Oh, man. Okay. All right, so since we do 7 stars here, because I think you got that Dave Meltzer thing going on. Okay.
No, we do top 7. So
top 7, okay.
7
stars, okay. Out of 7 stars, the last rating. Here we go. 7 stars. Okay. What do you rate Shang-Chi?
7 stars.
Oh, you go.
Look, last night I did my little short review and I was going to give it 6 stars. And then because I said, you know what, nothing is perfect. And I just stopped myself and said, you know what, 7 stars. All right. They took a character that was little well known, like they always do.
Yep.
They modernized it without corrupting the original character. And without taking away the feeling of the rest of the Marvel Universe. We've changed. We're going into a different phase. And even though we're going in a different phase and our biggest stars, Iron Man and Cap are gone, it's not like we're missing anything.
It doesn't feel like we're missing a heartbeat. I was telling you last night, that's why it's called the formula, right? And he could take, with the formula, he could take C-, D+, and C+ and B- stars and make them A+ stars.
Puts them on the top tier.
That is insane. First and foremost, he could take, like Guardians of the Galaxy, no one even knew who the heck they were, except for hardcore comic book fans.
That's correct.
And he made them top notch. And not only he made them top notch, you're like, man, this is the coolest. This is like this is one of the coolest movies, concepts I've ever. He introduced the space part of Marvel Universe through the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's how important it was. But no one knows who Guardians of the Galaxy is, right?
Nope. And to be honest,
no one care about
that's
Black
not
Widow,
even the original Guardians of the Galaxy team.
But the thing what I'm saying is,
Guardians of the Galaxy is the name of a group.
Yeah,
and that interchange.
No one cares about the Black Widow, Hawkeye. He made sure those characters had equal play with Iron Man and Captain America.
And Thor.
Yeah, right. You know, you heard of Black Panther, but until recently, in the last 10 years, or 5, 7, 8 years,
they made you care
didn't see
about
nothing about no Black Panther, because it was the only black character you even heard about was Blade, right?
Yeah, when Wesley Snipes wanted to be
right. You've seen the comments about Black Panther, but will they ever make a Black Panther movie? Will we ever get to see Wakanda on the live screen? He knows how to take all of these other characters. He can literally go into DC's universe. I said he could take, just pick one. Pick Javelin.
Javelin.
King Shark. He can take anybody. He'll make the Javelin and do a movie about the Javelin guy, okay, and made it top notch. Either he puts on Disney Plus or you can put it in the theaters, because the formula works. The formula. So he gets how he took Shang-Chi, which most people even know about until recently. Right? And now he's going to be, not only he's a character in an Avenger, he's going to be a major character in an Avenger. And powerful character.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't about Kung Fu. It ain't about martial arts with this guy, right? Because that's what I thought. I thought it was just going to be about him knowing how to do just martial arts better than everybody, like Hawkeye. You know, I thought he was going to be Black Widow-ish. Nope. So for that, I give the story, the comedy, the blend of everything, perfect blend of everything. Make 2 hours feel like they even feel 2 hours. I wanted more. I give it 7.5 stars.
How you gonna put an extra? Look,
I'll put an extra half because of Trevor.
Trevor and Morris.
Trevor and Morris. For bringing Trevor back in, I'm gonna give him an extra half star because you have to close that door. I get it. You have to close that door to the. He fixed the complaints of Iron Man 3. He fixed it.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, we got the fix. But when he fixed it, he said, I'm going to give y'all a little more. Not only I'm going to close this door with Trevor, this is him saying, I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. The few mistakes I made was the Iron Man Thor 2 being as dry as it was. But still used the elements of it.
And he fixed that one.
He fixed it. And Iron Man 3. I made a mistake in Iron Man 3. Not only I'm going to close that door, I'm going to use Trevor as a character and build him into his own universe around him with his sidekick, Morris. Dope.
Chicken pig.
I give it 7.5 stars. People. So that's going to conclude.
Action-packed. We didn't even talk about the martial arts because it was
the storyline, the connection to Asian culture,
the visuals.
Food. He said, I've been called many things. Genghis Khan, all these different
he was the greatest of all time, the greatest warrior of ever. Oh man, he was. It didn't matter. The point was, you had a villain,
and he didn't seem like he lived those 1,000 years. It's like he's like.
Well, you saw him age a little bit because he took the rings off.
A little bit.
And he lived with his wife, and when she died, he put those rings back on.
Did you see how you put that old man in check?
He says, young man.
Don't talk to me,
Don't talk to me. He said, show some respect for your elders. I've lived 10 times.
Wow.
Oh, I was like,
whoa.
Dude was like.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude had that look like.
You don't talk to me.
You don't talk to me like that.
You're not my elder.
You don't disrespect me.
Yeah. All right. So I guess if y'all listening to this, you better go watch that. I hope you already have watched it.
I hope you've already seen it. But if you haven't and you're waiting for it to be in the house, go spend your money.
Go spend your money.
If you got to wear 1 mask, 2 masks, 3 masks, if you got to wear a gas mask, go to the theater and see it. It's worth it. It's worth your money. Very rarely do I say leave your home, because you have your little theater like I do. But go out to the theater and see this. Mm-hmm. Me and the missus, we went and saw it in 3D. It was awesome. I'm going to take my son. 3D. Yeah, I'm going to take my son to go see it at the IMAX, the way it was shot, so I can see how it looked when it was shot.
It's going to be awesome. A lot of visuals, a lot of good colors.
So I'm waiting to see his face. He's just now getting into the Asian culture. I'm ingratiating him into it through my eyes. So now I want him to see it through someone else's eyes.
And another cool thing too is Disney is not throwing it on Disney Plus at the same time. So
no,
it's going to try to go.
It's going to make some money this weekend.
Wait, hold on. Now, Scarlett, who cares about you? We'll do it at the same time. But I'm tapping into that Asian and Chinese market. I'm going to make some money. It better be selling out over there. I'm about to check the box office today.
Well, I don't think China wants it.
You don't think so?
No, because there's a lot of pushback against this movie because people remember China is still a communist country that controls its people.
That's true.
And this movie is uplifting movie that really shows the Chinese people overthrowing their oppressor. Yeah. This might not be a movie they want their people to see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
see.
I'm just saying.
We'll see. But I know this. It's going to make a lot of money.
It's going to make a lot of money.
A lot of money. Good job, Disney, doing the smart thing. Just let it be in the theaters for a couple of weeks and then throw it on your Disney Plus. Because I agree, you shouldn't be doing it simultaneously. At the same
simultaneously.
time. Yeah, at the same time. There we go. Ebonics. Same time, man. You don't need to do it at the same time. All right, so here's the
Same
thing.
time.
Same time. All right. And maybe Warner Brothers, HBO Max, wow. I want them to do that with the regular movies, but super big movies. I got me AMC stock a little bit. This is a little bit. So I want y'all to go to theaters to make me some money. Get my stock up a little bit. All right. Hey, catch us on all your major podcast platforms. I don't feel like naming them all. We're on all of them: Spreaker, Spotify, whatever you use, Pandora,
iTunes,
iTunes, whatever you want to use. Okay, Podbean is our main one that we use.
Give us those stars.
Subscribe to our podcast because it is the best. It's going to be awesome. We're going to grow and grow and grow. In the meantime,
and between time,
I didn't have an intro. We need to create an ending for our podcast, different than our TV show. So let's see. Same bedtime, same bed. No, we don't say that.
No, we're not going to get in trouble.
Come on, you do the ending, man. Give me an ending.
I always do the ending.
What do you do?
It's the same thing.
What is it?
You cut it in, I cut it out, and then we say thank you for enjoying a trip through our minds.
So then you started.
How am I going to start it? I'm the voice of the GPS.
Oh. Well, hey, thanks for listening to
GPS.
And thank you for navigating through my mind.
There he goes. Messing it up. Peace out, people.
Peace out, man.
Peace out. G